Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, here at Ivy Talks Podcast Network, we're doing a subscriber giveaway. We'll be doing a giveaway on the 1st and the 15th of every month for $50 for a random subscriber. All you have to do to enter is subscribe, comment on any video, and you'll be entered for a chance to win. And once you do it once, you're entered for life. And it's going to be on the 1st, 15th of every month. A random subscriber will be chosen to win $50. As you grow, that money will go up. So go ahead, subscribe, comment to enter. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the WNBA coverage. We're going to get straight into it. First of all, those of y'all that are back, welcome back. Those of y'all that are new, we appreciate you for tuning in. So what we're going to do is go over the standings, conference standing, statistical leaders, overall standings, and then get into some achievements players have gotten into, different awards, top performers, and then go over how the WNBA is shaping up as we close in on All-Star Weekend. So getting straight into it. Where's my notes? Alrighty. In the East, we got New York Liberty sitting at 1. They've been at 1 all season. They're starting to get a little bit of a lead over the Atlanta Dream. Atlanta Dream was right behind them, but now they got a two game lead over Atlanta Dreams. So Atlanta Dream at 2, Indiana Fever at 3, Washington Mystics at 4, Chicago Skies at 5, Connecticut Suns at 6. In the West, we got Minnesota Lynx at 1, Phoenix Mercury at 2, Seattle Storm at 3, Golden State Valkyries at 4, Las Vegas Aces at 5, Sparks at 6, and Wings are at 7. Statistical leaders, points per game, Nafisa Collier for the Minnesota Lynx at 23.9, rebounds per game, Angel Reese at 12.6, assists per game, Melissa Thomas at 9.6, steals per game, Gabby Williams at 2.4, blocks per game, Aja Wilson 2.4, field goal percentage, Aaliyah Boston 58.3%, 3-point percentage, Leonie, I think I'm saying that right, Leonie Fibich at 50% from 3, free throw, Nafisa Collier at 95.4, minutes per game, Alicia Gray at 36, and turnovers per game, Angel Reese at 3.8. Real quick, actually no, we'll go straight to the overall standings. So the overall standings is just regardless of conference, just the overall standings, because how it works in the WNBA is the top 8 teams make it to the playoffs. And so it doesn't matter what conference you're in. It's just the top 8 records make it to the playoffs. So sitting at number 1 as of right now, Minnesota Lynx. 2 is Phoenix Mercury. 3 is New York Liberty. 4 is Seattle Storm. 5 is Atlanta Dream. 6 is Indiana Pacers. 7 is Washington Mystics. 8 is Golden State Valkyrie. And first team out is Las Vegas Aces sitting there at 9. Now, I will say Las Vegas Aces and Golden State Valkyries have the same record. They're tied at 10 and 11, so there could be some fight there. Washington Mystics and the Indiana Fever both have the same record at 11 and 10 for both of those teams. Golden State and Las Vegas are both 10 and 11. So those last 4 spots is a game difference between the last 4 spots. So after the All-Star break, we're going to really see a lot of these teams from Indiana, Washington, Golden State, and Las Vegas fighting for those last 3 spots and being the first team out. And then after Las Vegas is a 3-game difference. So it's kind of a gap between that 9th spot, but between 9, 10, 9, 8, 7, and 6, it is very, very tight. So it's going to be interesting as we get going here later in the season. So some awards and shout outs that different players have won or achieved, accolades, and such. Western Conference Player of the Week, Alyssa Thomas, who averaged 17.7 points, 8.3 rebounds, and 10 assists last week, averaged a double-double last week. East Player of the Week, Sabrina Osgood, New York Liberty, 19.8 points, 6.3 rebounds, 6.3 assists that she averaged last week. Minnesota Lynx reaches 500 franchise win for the franchise, which is the 3rd franchise to hit the mark. Los Angeles Sparks and the Connecticut Suns are the only other 2 teams to have over 500 franchise wins. So shout out to the Minnesota Lynx. Jewel Lloyd reaches 10th all-time in made three-pointers. Shout out to her. Tina Charles hits 8,000 career points the second player to reach that mark. Shout out to her. Alyssa Nye, 100 career points, very young, very prominent, promising player with a lot of potential, reaches 100 career points. Jackie Young reaches 3,000 career points. Natasha Cloud and Skylar Diggins are both tied for all-time in assists, which is very interesting because they're both playing or currently actively playing right now. So it'll be interesting to see who finishes on top of who by the end of the season. But shout out to both of them, both top 10 all-time in assists, both tied for 8th. Chelsea Gray, the youngest and the fastest to reach 4,000 points, 1,700 assists, 1,000 rebounds, 400 steals, and 100 blocks. Las Vegas Aces, shout out to Chelsea Gray. She is a dog. And Paige Buckets, fastest guard since Diana Taurasi to reach 300 points, 50 assists, 50 rebounds. It's very interesting when you look at the stats or the data with last year with Caitlin Clark being the fastest to reach 100 points, 200 points, 300 points. Well, Paige Buckets is basically on pace or at the faster pace for reaching those milestones that Caitlin Clark set last year. So we're starting to see a wave of superstars, young promising stars coming in into the league, because obviously we know next year Juju Watkins is going to be a big prospect coming into the league next year. So it's going to be, I feel like there's going to be a trend where there's going to be that one player every year that's going to come in and kind of keep this wave going of just superstars. I'm trying to make a Dallas Wings game because Paige Buckets is a dog and I want to get out there to Dallas. So performance alerts, some top performers we had this past week. Again, we can't get to all of them, but just some big ones that caught my eye or games that I watched. Sabrina Old had dropped 28-8 in their win over the Las Vegas Aces. Shout out Sabrina. Alyssa Thomas had a triple-double, 15 points, 15 assists, 15 rebounds it was 15 points, 15 assists, 10 rebounds in their win over the Dallas Wings. Kelsey Plum, who got Sparks Player of the Week this past week for 2 games, averaged 20 points per game, 7.5 assists, 2 steals, shooting 57% from the field, 50% from 3, 100% from the free throw line. So she had a very dominant week this past week. Shout out to Kelsey Plum. Aja Wilson, she got injured with her wrist. She was out. She comes back, and her first game back, she drops 34 points, 16 rebounds for the win over the Golden State Valkyrie. Shout out to Aja Wilson. And Angel Reese, who me and Coach Diesel and I have talked about, if she can figure out how to finish at the rim, how to be more efficient in her field goal percentage, she's going to become a problem, and she's starting to do it. She dropped 22 points, 15 rebounds. It was a loss to the Washington Mystics, but she shot 55% from the field, 80% from the free throw line. That is her 13th straight double-double, or her 13th straight 15 and 15. 15 points, 15 rebounds. I believe if it's not that, it's just her 15th straight. No, I'm pretty sure it's her 13th straight 15 and 15. So those are some top performers. The league itself, we're coming up on All-Star Weekend. All-Star Weekend is this weekend. I believe last week I misspoke, said the game's on the 20th. The game's on the 19th. They also have the competition stuff the game before. I also misspoke where I said Candace Parker, shout out to one of the GOATs. Chicago retired her jersey. I misspoke. Las Vegas. I keep yelling Las Vegas and Los Angeles. LA Sparks retired her jersey. She did play for Chicago, got MVP with Chicago, and got a championship with Chicago. But it is the Sparks that are retiring her jersey because she was drafted by the Sparks. So I did misspeak because I got a little confused there. But anyway, shout out Candace Parker. As we get going, we all know, similar with the NBA, the All-Star break is kind of around halfway through the season. They're playing 40-ish games. All the teams are right around 20-ish games. So this is where the season's really going to start. And how we talked about earlier, how we have Indiana, Washington, Golden State, and Las Vegas all being determined by 1 game difference. Two sets of teams are tied, and the 2 sets are only separated by a game. So after the All-Star break, there's actually games on today recording this. And then there's no more games until the weekend's over. So when we get back to next week, we will obviously talk about the All-Star game because I'm definitely going to watch. And there won't really be any games to talk about besides the games that happened today and yesterday. It's only a few games. But every game here on out for those teams that I mentioned is going to be very, very, very crucial. And so We're going to see how it goes. Talked about with Las Vegas Aces, they have the talent to kick it in gear the second half of the season and finish strong. We talked about how the Golden State Valkyries, we don't know what kind of team they are yet in terms of finishing out the season because this is their first year together. Indiana, we got a good feel for how Indiana is, but their chemistry, because they got a lot of new faces with Sophie Cunningham and some other pieces that they added. How are they going to look chemistry-wise? We know Caitlin Clark's a dog. Can they peak? But she's been kind of in and out with little knick-knack injuries here and there. Can they get her healthy, keep her healthy the rest of the half of the season, and can they gel together with her on the court? And then you got the Washington Mystics, who are one of those, in my opinion, Washington Mystics are one of those teams where I feel like they're like a jack of all trades, but a master of none. They're not the best shooting team. They don't have the best defense. They don't have the best offense. They don't have the best rebounding, but they're solid in everything. So I think that's a team that can kind of go toe-to-toe with anybody if they show up that night. That's kind of how I see the Washington Mystics. They're just a well-rounded team, and they have the potential to beat any team. That's kind of why they're sitting literally right at the middle of the pack when you look at the entirety of the league. They're almost right in the middle. I don't want to say average, but literally they're essentially statistically the definition of the average team. So it's pretty good at everything. That's kind of why they're sitting at that middle spot. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it goes as the second half of the season gets started. As we get closer to the playoffs, teams are going to have to up the ante. Teams are going to have to start gelling together. If they want to win, they're going to have to start finishing games. Like, I think the biggest problem with a team like the LA Sparks, who are sitting at the bottom three, they have the talent. They literally have the talent. They have the scoring ability. They show spurts where they can play lockdown defense. They just can't finish. A lot of the games, they're up 10, they're up 15, and going in the half, they're up, or going early third quarter, they're up. Late third quarter, they start giving away leads, and next thing you know, fourth quarter, it's a close game, and they can't finish. But we know they have the talent. So kind of how the Sparks, I think the whole reason why they aren't as good as they should be talent-wise is because they can't finish. These teams that are right on the bubble right there, they've shown where they can finish, but they just got to be more consistent in finishing if they want to secure a spot in the playoffs. But we'll catch all that as the season keeps going. So this is going to be all for this episode of the WNBA coverage. We'll catch you guys next week after the All-Star break. Enjoy.